Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Together again, like Deadpool and Wolverine. It's
Yes.
Geeky and Neon.
Which one am I?
You're definitely Wolverine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claws out.
Yeah, claws out.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about the box office. We're going to give you our opinion of the movie. We went to go see it last night.
Yes.
And so there will be spoilers for that part of the video.
We'll warn you before then, won't we?
Yeah, we'll warn you before.
Warn you for that.
Because there were some pretty cool things that happened in this movie that I was not aware of because I really wasn't following it that closely because I'm so checked out from the MCU. I didn't care. But there were some pretty cool cameos. So we'll talk about that later. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Yeah, so a lot of fans going woohoo. Deadpool and Wolverine is doing really, really well.
It is doing really well.
And you know, I just want to say, after I saw the trailer, I posted publicly, and I hope you have a screen capture of that, because I know some people screen cap every damn thing we do, which is weird, but okay. I said it was gonna make a lot of money. I did, because this one's gonna make a lot of money, and I think this is Ryan Reynolds doing what he can do to make a good movie despite Disney. Mm-hmm. So people are like, well, Disney's finally getting it together. I'm like, no. There were actually many jokes in this movie that Ryan Reynolds is very aware of where the MCU is right now and how ridiculous Disney is.
Yes.
Which I'm shocked that they let him get away with, but that was probably...
like, do you want to make money or don't you?
Pretty much, yeah. I think he basically went to them.
I get to say what I want to say. It's probably like, with, as long as you don't go past these lines. Like, apparently cocaine was out, but
Well, they talked about it enough.
I know.
Yeah.
You can't show it, but you can name it.
Yeah, so let's talk about this, the money, and then we'll talk about the movie, and then we'll go into spoilers. Variety has it. Box office: Deadpool and Wolverine makes record-breaking $38.5 million in previews.
Mm-hmm. Do they have an estimate what they think it's going to do for the whole weekend?
I don't think they have an estimate for that yet. They think it's going to do,
160 million to 170 million domestically. Yeah.
Yeah, domestic. So that's
or up to 200 million, depending. Yes.
And that's an R-rated movie.
Yeah. I mean, if anything was going to hold it back, it was going to be the R rating, because but I don't think it's really stopping people from taking kids.
No, I'm hearing that people are taking kids. They're even, which I think is a terrible idea, but they've even got Deadpool reading stories in Disneyland to kids now.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which is weird, but to be honest, look, we grew up in the '80s. RoboCop had a cartoon and a toy line.
Yep.
Rambo, Aliens. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like all these R-rated freaking Police Academy.
Even things that weren't R-rated that were scary AF, like The Secret of Nim and The Dark Crystal, and our cartoon characters fought Satan and demons.
My Little Pony fought Satan.
Why are 80s kids hardcore? That is why.
Yeah. So I can't really say anything, because if as a kid, if I could have RoboCop read me a story when I was like 8 years old, I would have loved it.
Right. I'm sure a lot of kids love Deadpool reading them stories. I mean, as long as it's family-friendly content, then there you go.
Right.
You can't go see the movie. You really, really cannot take your kids to this film.
Yeah, it's definitely hard R in terms of language and violence. No titties. But it had, I don't think they're...
Well, they're man titties.
Man titties. We had man boobs.
Yeah. Middies, but that's about it.
Anyway, I said... 38.5 million on Thursday previews. Now this is more like it. This is what the MCU used to do, like every freaking movie. The Thursday haul is the biggest of the year so far, easily beating Disney's family hit Inside Out 2, which made 13 million last month. It's also the highest preview gross ever for an R-rated movie. The first Deadpool made 12.7 million on Thursday night back in 2016. The sequel did 18.6 million. Which held the R-rated record until now. I thought Joker did.
I don't know, but it just blew past that. So there's that.
Internationally, where Deadpool and Wolverine is open in every major market except China.
Which China? No, China is Friday, but I think they're gonna have probably some. They think they're gonna have to probably edit some of it, but I'm not sure.
They had a PG version of Deadpool.
Yeah, Once Upon a Deadpool.
Yeah, which they actually brought that up again with Fred Savage. They brought up he was dissing Nickelback and Deadpool shoots him down. But they brought that up again. They said some estimates are putting Deadpool and Wolverine on track to open domestically. Yeah, with 160 to 170 million.
They said they could go higher.
It could go to even 200.
200. Yeah.
Again, this is the kind of money that Disney was used to getting every movie.
Globally, a film is expected to make between 350 million and
Holy
390
hell.
million globally first weekend. It costs 200 million to produce and approximately 100 million to market. So it's got to make probably 600 million to break even. And it's already they're expecting it to be like, halfway there after 1 week. So one weekend,
Yeah.
not even a week.
I knew this one was going to be big. I didn't realize it was. Well, no, I knew it was going to be big. The only thing holding it back was potentially the R rating.
That's what I've said the whole time.
But they're like, why is it so popular?
I don't know, because it's fun, and it's just dumb fun, because it's dumb fun. And because it's Deadpool. And it's not like, hey, let me preach to you and stuff. It's like, I love when we can't talk about it. There was a lot of jokes in there. The feminist joke was funny. Anyway.
So
they make fun of everyone.
Yeah, let's just talk about just the 98%.
Yeah, it deserves it.
It deserves it. This was a crowd-pleasing movie. This was a comic nerd's wet dream. This was, without going into details that could spoil the movie now, prematurely. Nobody wants premature spoilage. I'm wondering how it's going to age, because a lot of the jokes are very like inside baseball about the state of Disney, the state of the MCU.
That's true.
A lot of them are, and I mean, I'm not surprised it did as well as it did, but a lot of it is contingent on your knowledge of pre-MCU Marvel movies.
They explain it. They do
Kind
for those
of.
who don't know, but they are expecting you to have some background in it.
Yeah, so
Our daughter was a little thrown for some of it. She's like, because we took our daughter, because she's definitely old enough to see an R-rated film.
Yeah.
And she was even like, she liked it, but she was even like confused a couple times because she didn't watch. If you need to be knowledgeable of the Fox era, because they really slam on the Fox era.
Yeah, they do. They basically like they send off the Fox X-Men and Fantastic Four in probably like the most irreverent way possible. I mean, they're just like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter what happens to any of these characters. Like, they don't matter anymore. So just whatever the hell goes. But no, what's cool about this is that this movie is just pure entertainment. There's no lecturing. There's no, like, you're going to hear a lot of people talking about, like, there's no message. No, the message is have fun and be a hero.
No. The message is let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
That's the message.
That's real. Let's
I can
fucking
get
go.
behind that. Let's fucking
go. Let's make some money. And that's all it takes. And when Hollywood gets it right, they should be rewarded for that, right? Now, do I think this is going to fix the MCU? Hell no. This was a one-off, and this was mostly because of Ryan Reynolds. In fact, they actually bring that up in this is theringer.com, and they said that it's not gonna save Hollywood, it's not gonna save Marvel even, but it's gonna do well this summer.
Yeah, I don't think any of the, like, I was talking about this yesterday in a video, and while we have Inside Out 2 doing well and this doing well, we might have some things on the horizon, it doesn't undo the last 2 or 3 years of damage. And I think that it's going to take a lot more than one good summer to save them. And I think that, like, Disney especially has some things coming up this year that might, but then looking ahead to next year, unless they get some really, really compelling reason to watch Captain America or Thunderbolts, I don't think that people are going to turn out the way they need them to.
No.
Let's just be honest. They were waiting for this one because they know these characters.
Yeah, they do. And they actually give them a pretty good send-off. If this is the last time you see Deadpool and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, it's okay.
I thought he was going to work till he was 90.
Oh, my God. That was one of the jokes. Can I say that?
Yeah, that one doesn't spoil it.
Yeah, that's a running gag, is that Ryan Reynolds breaking the fourth wall is like, yeah, you're going to be playing Wolverine until you're 90. 90. Disney's going to make you do it. Because of Disney. No, actually, Disney will just use AI and deep fake him till he's 90. But so yeah, it's making a lot of money. I guess we can talk spoilers. We're going to talk spoilers.
Okay, spoilers are coming. We're going into spoiler territory. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, turn it off now. However, if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see it before you turn this off, just stay to the very, 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 very end of the film, because there is some post-credit things, but there's like the one at the very, very end. So stay completely through the credits. Just letting you know. Anyway, Go ahead. Spoilers now.
Spoilers. Okay, so the plot of the movie is that Deadpool's Fox X-Men universe is getting canceled, basically.
Yes.
By the TVA, which that was the one apprehension I had about this movie was like, oh God, here we go. They're dragging Loki into it. They're dragging Disney Plus into it. It kind of sort of works because they do explain it a little bit what they do before they just get into it. But it is kind of like, oh yeah, we're still in the MCU.
Well, it starts out like he's, the sacred time. He was part of the sacred timeline originally, and then he goes to the other timeline using Cable's watch. Isn't that what he did? The time machine thing.
So Cable's watch, and we saw that at the end of Deadpool 2 that he was hopping around, and
so he's in another timeline now, which isn't the main one.
But he saved his friend, saved his girlfriend,
and they're with him in the timeline.
But he's a pussy now.
Yeah, well, he's working a regular job, and his girlfriend isn't the one that he was married to, so she's kind of like, or was with, whatever. So she's kind of like,
you're not so hot now.
I'm not. No, but she wasn't seeming like, she was like talking about dating somebody else. I mean, she doesn't seem to know he likes her. It's just he's like, having fun with them and being happy with that, even though he's kind of bored. He says he's not going to be Deadpool anymore, and then he gets sucked into this TVA thing. We did learn what smasher baiting was. So that was a thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's when you use Hulk glove, the Hulk hands,
the big Hulk hands,
and you punch your dick a bunch of times. I don't have to worry about that situation, but
I'll punch your dick for you. Don't worry.
Punched it off. It's gone now.
Anyway,
another time when I might have one.
Oh my God. So there is some knowledge required going into this, which I think this is another reason why I'm kind of surprised it did as well as it did, because it not only requires knowledge of, the previous MCU movies and TV shows, but also the Fox movies. And even, can I say it? Blade.
Yeah, he was very excited.
Blade.
I knew as soon as Wesley Snipes showed up that he was going to be really happy, and he was.
I didn't know he was in it. I actually, I'll be honest, this is one that I wasn't deliberately trying to avoid spoilers. I didn't care. I didn't care, because usually, like, if I'm excited for a movie, I'll go look up rumors and spoilers and stuff, and I am so checked out from Marvel that I didn't look up anything in regards to this movie. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But I was pleasantly surprised. I think probably because I did go into it fresh, but it's definitely for the comic nerds. I think. God, what I loved about it, I mean, beyond the references to the other Fox movies and beyond the self-deprecating Disney humor, which, I always love a good Disney joke, right? But I loved that they had a lot of nods to the comic books, not the cartoon version of the comic books, not the live action version, but the actual comic books. In fact, when they do a montage, Deadpool is looking for another Wolverine because Logan died and he stays dead. So they didn't bring Logan back.
No, but they use him. And
they use him.
His body. And
they use his body.
It's nasty, but yet funny.
It's hilarious, but it's also kind of like, man, Logan was such a somber movie, and this is how they end it. But he has to go find another Wolverine for plot reasons, and he goes through the multiverse, and they have all these classic X-Men and Wolverine covers that they go through. I mean, we've got Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, we've got classic Chris Claremont cover Wolverine, we've got John Byrne Wolverine fighting the Hulk. I mean, I was like, I did not expect that. And
yes,
your favorite Wolverine.
We had Henry Cavill's Wolverine.
Henry Cavill's Wolverine. I did not know he was in this movie. It was kind of funny.
He wouldn't have taken me. No kidding. He knows I love him more than Henry Cavill.
I hope so.
But does he love me more than Henry Cavill? That's the question.
I do.
Okay. I worry sometimes. You're really into Henry Cavill painting figures. Anyway.
Oh God, what was funny though in this was they had comic accurate Wolverine. Comic book size accurate Wolverine.
Yes,
and he gets off the bar stool and he's only like 5 foot tall. Because that was the biggest complaint that people had when they cast Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. They're like, he's too damn tall to be Wolverine.
Yeah.
But if he were comic book accurate, he would be like 5 foot tall.
Yeah, he's like, aren't you cute, you little cutie? And it was funny.
It was hilarious. I thought it was great.
I like, there was the Deadpool version that it's Ryan Reynolds, but he doesn't have the scarring, and he has real long hair, and he's Dogpool's dad, and he's like, he's like all about being pacifist and coexist and all this crap, and he's like, I'm a feminist, and
I'm a male feminist.
Beautiful.
It's like, oh my God, yeah,
I
of course
love
he
that
is.
so much. As a woman, that made me happy.
And they
anyway,
use him as a meat shield.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Lady Deadpool was Blake Lively. I'm pretty sure.
Probably. Probably. She probably did it for free.
I don't know. If I was, I can't imagine him using anybody else. I mean, I was his wife. I'd be like, yeah, I want to be Lady Deadpool. It was funny. It was good. It was very violent, of course, because you expect a lot of sex jokes, as one would expect. Oh yeah, and then you said about when they get sent to they get sent to the void. Okay, so he's basically supposed to be saving his timeline, and his anchor being, which was Logan, in this timeline died. So they had to find a new anchor being, which you talked about. They had to find their Logan.
Yes,
but then he finds out he's being used, and they send him to the void, and now it's Professor Xavier's sister, Cassandra.
Oh yeah, so that was I didn't know anything about this movie going into it, so it was Cassandra Nova was the big bad, and I didn't know that, and I forget who played her, but she was actually really, really good, and she's a controversial character. Like, some people think she's cool, some people are like, God, we've really jumped the shark that we got to give Professor X an evil twin that we didn't know anything about.
I know.
She just kind of showed up like 15, 20 years ago, and people were like, what the frick? But yeah, she actually, I thought, was really good. And
then they have a lot of cameos. You said they brought Blade, and then they had Elektra, which is Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner is Elektra.
Yeah.
We had Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, yeah.
Yeah.
He was Gambit.
As Gambit. Or is it Tatum Channing? I always get his name.
Channing Tatum.
I always get his name mixed up. He's got 2 first names. Anyway, Duke, right? Mm-hmm. Magic Mike. It was okay. So Gambit, God, this was like, I'm so freaking mixed on Gambit. People have wanted to see Gambit on screen forever, right? Proper Gambit. Now, they had him briefly in the Wolverine Origins movie, and he was only in it for like 2 minutes, right? But they actually had him in the Gambit suit using the Gambit powers, but they made a joke out of him. They're like, oh yeah, I can't understand his accent. And it was kind of like, but it's freaking Gambit. Like, if you didn't read the X-Men comics in the 90s, you don't understand. Like, Gambit was second only to Wolverine in popularity back then. And people have been waiting for Gambit. People want a Gambit movie. They want to see Gambit and Rogue together, which would have been creepy in the X-Men, because they made her really young in the X-Men movie. But like, people wanted that. And then we get him, and it's like, okay, that's funny. But then they just kind of like made him a joke. Like, oh, and it's like, what do you say? Like, I can't understand him because he sounds like he's from the Bayou, Which I mean, I guess.
Are you talking about this movie, or
I'm talking about this movie.
Oh, I thought you meant what they wasted him last time. I was very confused.
They wasted him last time.
They wasted him this time too. You're saying?
Yes. Okay. It was cool to see Gambit.
I was trying to understand what you're talking about.
A comic accurate costume, even though it really didn't work, and it looks like he's put on a little weight. But that's okay. It happens. But they turned him into a joke. They just made him a joke. He was just like, oh, he's that guy. All he does is throw playing cards, and we can't understand a damn thing he's saying.
Speaking of other cameos that are in it, though, I want to point out that the lair, Cassandra's lair, is Ant-Man in his giant form. He's dead, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he looks like Paul Rudd's age.
Yeah, there were a lot of. I mean, it was just like one in-universe joke after another. We get Chris Evans. Mistaken identity. They think he's Captain America, and it turns out he's actually Johnny Storm.
Yeah, that was funny.
Which, again, that was funny, but then what they do with him is like, oh, okay.
I thought what they did with him was funny. I thought it was funny. Anyway, especially with the end, with the very end credit scene. I think that was even funnier. It made it even funnier.
I mean, at this point,
it was gross, but it was funny.
At this point, it's like they obviously. I mean, it's a Deadpool movie, so they're not gonna play it seriously anyway. But like, they don't give a shit what happens to the Fox characters.
No.
They're just like, whatever, we're going to recast everybody anyway. The funny thing was when they brought Blade in, because they talk about all the variants, and they're like, yeah, there's variants of this guy and that guy, whatever. There's only ever been one Blade. And then
there only ever will be.
And there only ever will be. And then Deadpool turns to the camera like, yeah, right with that. But I was shocked they got him back. Because he
was very happy about that.
Wesley Snipes has gone on a tear against Disney. I'm shocked they got him back. And I'm shocked he kept his mouth shut as long as he did. Because, I could just totally see him out there like, maybe he was. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. But like, I was very surprised to see Wesley Snipes' Blade in a Deadpool MCU movie, and it was pretty cool. And then we had Laura, of course, that one we already kind of knew about. But what we didn't see was Cyclops. There was a rumor that Cyclops was going to be in it, but all the X-Men are dead in Logan's universe.
Yeah.
Which is his tragic backstory, which takes a long time to get to, but you find out why he's supposed to be the worst Wolverine, because he's basically Wolverine unchecked. Like, what would Wolverine do if you killed all his friends and family?
Yeah, basically.
He'd go on a murder spree.
Yeah.
That's what you do. It's basically what you do. But like,
actually, the best character in the whole movie is the TVA gay guy.
Oh, yeah, he was funny.
I loved him. He was very happy to see both the characters, and it was gloriously funny.
Oh yeah, the movie just be forewarned. Be forewarned. The movie is hella gay. Deadpool's very very loosey goosey. I think maybe literally.
I don't know, but it's funny as heck.
It's funny. It's basically he's got like a man crush on Wolverine. But here's the thing: it delivers what comic fans, movie fans have wanted for a while, which is just like Deadpool and Wolverine in their comic book accurate, mostly costumes, throwing down, beating the shit out of each other.
He does wear the mask.
He does wear the mask at the very end, and even Deadpool's like, "You've been holding out. You've been saving the best for last." There are a lot of Easter eggs, in this movie. I mean, I think it's gonna make money because I think people are gonna go back and see it more than once to try to catch things. I'd
watch it again,
and just because it's enjoyable. I mean, it's a fun movie. Now, is it like the bestest thing ever? No. But it's fun. There's
some places the CG is wonky. I'm just going to tell you flat out. There's a couple places, and I was like, a lot of places it works and it's great. Other places, it's like you were doing this late and they ran out of time, didn't you? Because it was pretty bad on some of the CG places. Yeah. But it was. I'm sure that was a matter of time crunch because they keep overworking their VFX artists. But I thought it was fun. If you just want a Deadpool movie, Deadpool is, Deadpool's violent, Deadpool's funny, and Deadpool's irreverent, and you get that, and likes it, he's LGBTQ-ish, and the fact that he likes everyone, you'll like it. I mean, it's funny.
It's just a fun movie.
It's just funny.
It's like, I mean, I think I tweeted after we saw it, I said, it's the most comic book movie ever made. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. I mean, it basically, like, I could totally see this being an actual comic book, and some of the scenes and some of the ridiculousness of it, and that's not a bad thing. That is what a lot of people want. I mean, if you just want an escapist movie, you just want pure escapism, this is the one for you.
Yeah, Deadpool being Deadpool.
Deadpool being Deadpool and Wolverine, and they're beating the shit out of each other, and they're beating the shit out of bad guys, and there's humor and cameos galore.
And Dogpool.
And Dogpool.
The unsung hero of the film.
And freaking Wesley Snipes' Blade, which is...
He was very excited. In case you haven't guessed, I was extremely happy when Blade showed up.
Blade predates all of them. That's what I was trying to explain to Pinky Boo. I'm like, yeah, I think Blade was like the first like real... I mean, they had a Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren, which wasn't that great. And then Blade was like the first like real Marvel movie. And they had two good Blade movies. The third one wasn't very good, but...
I've never watched any of them.
You need to watch them. Like, if you can handle the gore, like, you don't watch it because you're worried about the gore. I'm like, oh, yeah, the Blade movies are nothing compared to this. Oh, yeah,
but this is a very juicy fair, though, I kept my eyes closed for a lot of the initial fight sequence in the beginning because I was like, oh, I don't want to see that. But it looked very. I knew what I was in for. I just knew that I didn't want to see all the detail.
It was very cartoony, and it reminded me of, like, Mortal Kombat or something. It was like, it gets to a point where it's like...
Wait, which one? Blade? Or this one?
No, this one.
Oh, okay.
You get to a place with the violence and the gore where it's just so ridiculously over the top that it doesn't even seem real. So it becomes like a cartoon. And that's kind of like the beginning of the movie. But no, it was good. I don't know how it's going to age. I'm going to be honest, because a lot of the jokes are inside baseball with like current year Disney. But the fact that he probably got like a dozen barbs in there about the state of Disney right now. And
Kevin Feige.
And Kevin Feige and Fox.
And multiverses are stupid.
Yeah, multiverses are stupid. He's like, hey, yeah, welcome to the 616, the MCU. It's like, yeah, we're kind of in a bit of a low spot right now. And the one guy's like, oh, I actually liked everything after Endgame. And everybody's like, nah. You know, it's like, so they know.
That was the feminist.
The
Deadpool
feminist one, yes.
Yes.
So the joke character, the feminist Deadpool, nice
the
pool.
pussy Deadpool.
Pussy Deadpool.
Pussy
I think they
pool.
called him nice
pussy
pool.
Nice pool. I'm calling
nice
it pussy pool.
Pussy pool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the feminists loved Phase 4. He loved it, and then he just died like a bitch. So they're very aware. They're very aware that they're putting out subpar movies. Now, I don't have any hope for Falcon.
You mean Captain America?
Falcon, yeah, like I said. I don't have much hope for that. Fantastic Four, I'm on the fence about. I do not like the idea of them gender swapping the Silver Surfer. I don't like the idea of them introducing the Silver Surfer this early, because he came later. But I'm sorry,
no,
she
always
comes first.
Yes. That's right. No.
That's right.
Anyway.
But no, it was a lot of fun, and that's all people want. Now, it made a lot of money, and it's kind of like, back to Inside Out 2, right? Inside Out 2 made a lot of money. It just went back to formula. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hard to get people to spend money on your product if you actually give them what they want. And I think
that's what I keep saying.
So now that all the free money has run out and Hollywood actually has to work for it, you're going to see them start pivoting back to this. Now, I think it's going to take a couple of years because they already have a bunch of shit in the pipeline. Literally, they have a bunch of shit in the pipeline they have to flush first. But I think after that, they're going to really take a good hard look at this era and be like, what did we do wrong? Oh, yeah, we just expected people to consume whatever subpar shit we tried to peddle to them. And then we called them Nazis, told them they were awful people. Yeah, that didn't help.
No.
But what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't know. What would you rate it?
7 or 8.
I was gonna say 8.5. Yeah, that's about what I would rate it too. It was good. It was fun.
It's a fun movie. It's not, it's one you could, I think after you watch it, you could leave it in the background, let it run, and just.
Hey, I was just happy I got to go 2 movies in a row this last week. I was very excited. I don't get to go anywhere, so that was glorious.
I keep her in the kitchen.
Yeah, better than the bedroom.
Wait, what?
Anyway, wrapping this up.
We're gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.